So, friends, I'm very happy to be a part of this program. Not wasting much time, I'll venture directly into this. Firstly, I want to understand the diverse practice methods, the practitioners um, who are all there on the forum here now, on the webinar. So, if I can request, few of you to start off with few questions relating or what are the insights that you are expecting out of this program. మీకు ఈ సెషన్ నుంచి ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్ ఏంటి? వాట్ ఈస్ ది ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్? Leave alone the title of GST audits and assessments, but what in particular are you looking at? If you of you can just unmute yourself and share, it will be very helpful for me to kickstart. So that is going to lay down the tempo for this session. సో ఎవరైనా మీరు దయచేసి అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకుని మీ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్ ఏంటో మీరు చెప్పండి, వన్ లైన్లో చెప్పండి ప్లీజ్. ఎనీ వన్ ఆఫ్ యూ?
Request members to come forward with any specific things which they are expecting today, so that speaker will take us in that direction. It need not be just a section specific deliberation. Let it be more interactive and more practical.
Yes,
So
correct.
request members, even if you are, you can type in chat box or unmute yourself and speak also.
Correct, well said. Correct. సో ఎవరైనా ఏమైనా మాట్లాడతారా? నగేష్ గారు, రామకృష్ణారెడ్డి గారు, రామ్దేవ్ సార్, అజయ్ కుమార్ గారు, ఎవరు వీడియో కనిపిస్తుందో వాళ్ళ నేమ్స్ చెప్తున్నాను. సితాంశు గారు, విశాల్.
Rahul,
ఎస్.
can I say a few words for your kick starts? Hello?
హలో, యా ప్లీజ్ గో ఆన్ సార్. ఏమన్నారండి?
Can I say a few words?
Please proceed, Vedantam garu. Please proceed, sir.
Actually, this practice after advent of GST in 2014-17, it has become a good practice for the practicing people, but it is not like income tax. Why? Like automatic summary assessment, only very few selected cases are taken for scrutiny. Whereas in GST, almost we hear that every day some cases are being selected for audit, etc., for 2 years, 3 years. Why they are not doing that? First thing. And second thing, since introduction of this GST, my issue was there that they must allow revisionary powers, at least up to 6 months of the filing of monthly return. Because that is not there, so many issues are popping up, and how to face such issues which are resulting out of the inadvertent errors, how to deal with them.
Correct. So to start off, sir, the topic is the two questions that came up from you.
Sir,
the 2 points
Ramdev
that
sir,
have
you are
come.
on mute, sir.
He spoke.
Yeah, just I finished my, that's why I went. Let Rahul complete.
Correct. So 2 points is, why is it not like income tax? The other, why is it like regularly GST audits are going on a more occasional basis than how it happens in the income tax under scrutiny. So sir, first is, it is not like income tax, because income tax covers vast area. It covers even the non-business people also. There are n number of non-business filers also. In fact, the percentage of such filers is very high. So it has evolved over time, and from 1961, having evolved over time, it has built up year after year. It has built up different procedures to identify the various gaps, thereby picking up few cases only for scrutiny. Earlier it was manual, now it has become online, wherein there is an algorithm basing on certain parameters, and basing on those parameters only it is going to pick up. Whereas this GST law is still in the first 5 years, or first 10 years, first decade, and in a very initial stage only, considering in comparison with the income tax law. And I am sure it would take at least 15-20 years for some fixed algorithm to run for picking up the audits. Also that the state and the central powers are different under the GST law, wherein under income tax it is only central. So under the state law, there is a more magnified vision onto the filers, wherein wherein the tools that they are using now, be it for 1A, be it for 1 versus 3B, or 2B versus 3B, or 7 GSTR 7 versus 3B also for that matter, or anybody who files more turnover in one of the earlier periods and lesser turnover in this period, they have got few algorithms wherein the state governments now want more revenue for running the state, because this is one of the main sources. So this is one of the main sources of revenue. So for which reason audits are usually taken up when there is a pressure on from the side of the government for more revenue. Just not just audits. Audit would include the inspection also under section 67. So whenever there is a little thrust or pressure from the state government, and as much as we can see in the Telugu speaking states, then these audits are more in number. Moreover, most of the departmental officers, they have not come out of the VAT mindset, in which, VAT earlier, they used to have a regular annual audit, or they used to ask for the books of accounts, or they used to have this face-to-face interaction with the taxpayer or the taxable person or the SSE. Here they are still continuing with that, wherein everything should be now almost like faceless, except for few personal hearings that are granted in cases. But otherwise, na, we need not really go to the department, even for from the registration to section 67 proceedings. We need not go to the department unless we really require to do so. So for this reason, the for these two reasons, the department, they regularly, they're taking up either audits or inspections. Especially these inspections are seen, inspection, search and seizure. Section 67 proceedings are seen more in the months of February and March, wherein there is some revenue deficit. So this is the general observation, without pointing out at anybody at the department. So this is my observation, Ramdev sir. Anyone else has got any question to just kickstart before I get off into the various aspects?
Sir, one person has mentioned in the chat box GST assessment regarding SEZs.
GST assessment regarding SEZ.
So
Fine.
specific issues in SEZ which they are facing.
Right. I think, Hitesh, we can have specifically on SEZs, and also the various matters, including refunds relating to SEZs. We can certainly have. You can
Yeah,
schedule it at any point of time.
right.
Right. So kindly note it down. I would also note it down if I am the speaker, then, and handle that session. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Hmm.
Yes. Just one issue, if you permit me, one issue
Yes, sir,
is
please.
earlier. It is regarding inadvertent errors, because the revision power is not there with the SSE. So for inadvertent errors, how they deal while making framing assessment or audit?
Sir, there are multiple layers. In fact, it is not, there is, the word revision is not specifically present, but we can always correct the inadvertent errors either during the subsequent months, any of the subsequent months until the November, or even after that also we can correct the error by paying through the DRC 03, which is a self-assessment payment challan. So even through that, we can always make, and we can always correct the error, notwithstanding that there is annual return and annual audit procedure also, at which point of time the chartered accountant who does the audit, or if it is only a GSTR 9 case, annual return case, then the self-assessment case, at the time of filing the annual return, naturally, they can look at the whole year at once in vis-a-vis the financial statements that are audited. We can understand for turnovers of less than 5 crores, where it is not really required. But what we are doing is, our tax audit threshold limit is 1 crore. So I am suggesting and recommending, because sometimes the part-time accountants only file the, most of the times part-time accountants only file the GST returns, or there would be a full-time accountant also who files the GST returns. So what we should really suggest, and what we are also, few of us are suggesting, which I do regularly, is that I ask the client to come and sit down, especially during the income tax audit time, and also and advise him, even if his turnover is just 1.1 crore or 2 crores, or even at a lower threshold limit also, I would advise him to go for a, to get the annual return filed, because which, in case The annual return is generally filed by us only, though it is a voluntary return to be filed by them. It is filed by us only. So we should, I think, in my opinion, we should recommend that at least till they get used to, the various compliances under GST law, various sections, be it Rule 42, 43, or 17.5 for that matter, or Section 50 for that matter, or any discrepancies in 2A, or just in case they're following by mistake 2A, or any mistaken claim of input tax credit, any of such things, they should go in for GSTR 9 filing also. So this should ideally be the recommendation as a chartered accountant and as a tax practitioner. Yeah, we understand that it's going to be an additional burden or cost on the taxpayer, but certainly we should be in a position to explain to him that the fees that he would be paying to a chartered accountant, or to the accountant or a tax practitioner for that matter, would be much lesser than the effect that would otherwise come. So Ramdev sir, this is my answer, and this is how ideally we should follow. In fact, this should help our practice also. It is not just that we want to earn more fees by doing this, but genuinely, I think this should ideally happen at least in the first decade of GST. There is one
Can you
question.
hear me, sir? Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear
A
me?
bit louder,
Yes, yes,
sir.
yes, sir, yes.
Okay. Sir, I just wanted to ask this GST collections month-wise they publish. Is it only the center's collection, or is it both center and state? And can we assume if that is so, half of is between center and state?
Sir, I am not really sure about that. One thing I can tell you that I keep asking the same question to myself whenever I look at those figures, because most of the times we do not we do not claim and reverse the credit. Just in case there is some 17.5 credit, we do not claim and reverse. Okay. And there is some 42, 43, we do not claim and reverse. Sometimes we just leave it like that. Also, the HSN codes in the from which state we have purchased, mentioning that also we would sometimes fail to mention. Also, the fact that certain composition taxable persons also do not specifically mention that. So this statistics is initially a good compilation, and however, I don't think it is near to accuracy. This is my opinion, but I have got limited knowledge on that. But still, this is my opinion. Yeah, there is one contractor question. Show cause notices on differential tax rates of 12% versus 18% on works contractor executed by contractor to government contractors. ఇది సుధాకర్ రెడ్డి కమసాని గారు దీంట్లో అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్. Sudhakar Reddy sir, what I will do is I will share with Hitesh one draft that I have made in response to a show cause notice. Because there are about 7 notifications that have come up, and that was a huge research for me about a few months ago on the same matter. So it also depends on whether you are a contractor or a subcontractor, or doing predominantly earthwork or not doing predominantly earthwork. All these, there are about 7 notifications relating to that. So along with that write-up, I will circulate to Hitesh, all those notifications. Only after
Cash
going
madam
through the
ichava.
work order, we'll be able to reach a conclusion. Thank you. Without reading the work order or the contract agreement, yeah, without reading the work order or the contract agreement, we cannot generally say, unless we know what type of work it is. Okay.
Here I would like to add one thing, especially in the state of Telangana.
Hmm.
In the beginning, the state government has not issued any instruction to the particular corporations or the government department at what rate to be applied.
Hmm.
Later on, I think somewhere in 2019 October, they have given an instruction that
Hmm.
this rate will apply to this type of works contract.
Hmm.
Subsequently, then credit note issue has come up here. A
Hmm.
major issue of 6% differential on some type of works.
Correct.
That 6% they have not given back.
Hmm.
And the entire contractors lobby is facing show cause notices in the state of Telangana only for the purpose of differential rate, because The government department itself has given rate of 12% initially. Later on, they have the circular has come, but it has not been revised. So now most of the contractors, infra contractors or road contractors, they are facing show cause notices in the state only because of the delayed decision of the state government. So this is a common issue everywhere.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So because that was initial, now almost na 18, 19, the period under section 74 also has elapsed. So
correct.
there is nothing much that afresh that can be taken up on this matter.
Right.
Right. సో ఇంకెవరైనా ఏమైనా అడగవలసినవి డిస్కస్ చేయవలసినవి ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయండి? రామ్దేవ్ సార్, ఇస్ దాట్ ఓకే ఇప్పుడు?
Yes, 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 yes. Perfectly explained. Perfectly explained.
సరే, I'll start off with my presentation. Okay. దిస్ ఈజ్ జిఎస్టి ఆడిట్ అండ్ అసెస్మెంట్. మనకి చాలా మందికి జిఎస్టి ఆడిట్ అండ్ అసెస్మెంట్లో ఉండే డిఫరెంట్ సెక్షన్స్ తెలుసు. అయితే దీంట్లో తెలియనివి లేవు. అయితే ఒక్కొక్క సెక్షన్లోనూ మనం తీసుకోవాల్సిన కేర్, వాట్ కేర్ నీడ్స్ టు బి టేకెన్, that we will just discuss and understand. Okay. And also we need to understand what accounts and records are to be maintained and what accounts and records would be asked by the department. Okay. So we all know this, right? This is assessment and audit sections from 59 to 64. I have not dealt this is assessment section, and audit section 65, 66. Then there is inspection section, section 67, 1 and 67, 2. Okay. So in all these cases, my first question that would come up for discussion is, can they issue summons in all these cases? I am not going through what is section 59, 16, discussion of section 59 in detail. I'm not going to that because we have come a long way ahead after GST has come. However, we are going to only discuss the various critical aspects relating to different sections. Now, in assessment sections ఉన్నాయి, audit sections ఉన్నాయి. Section 65, 66. 66 మనకి రెగ్యులర్గా ఎటు జరగదు. 65 is the audit that is taken up. So, first question I have for is, can they issue summons in these cases? In any of these cases, ఏ కేసెస్లో summons issue చేయొచ్చు? And second question is, if they have issued a notice under section 61 on a particular matter of 2A, 2B versus 3B, can they issue another notice under a notice under section 65 on the same subject matter? I'll stop the presentation here. ఎవరైనా చెప్తారండి? వెరీ సింపుల్. సమన్స్ ఇప్పుడు నేను స్క్రీన్ మీద చూపించిన వాటిల్లో సమన్స్ ఇవ్వచ్చా వాటికి, లేకపోతే ఇన్స్పెక్షన్ జరిగినప్పుడే సమన్స్ ఇవ్వాలా? Can somebody answer? Please make it a little interactive. That's the reason that I'm asking these questions.
We are getting some answers in the chat box.
Yeah.
They say they can issue summons for calling information also.
They can issue summons for calling information also. They can issue summons. The other specific questions, we'll just take it up.
Yeah, that can be at the end, but
That,
discussion specific we'll take up now.
Right. So, for the benefit of the audience, I'll just share section 70 deals with summons, and which says that they can issue summons on a person in relation to any inquiry. In relation to any inquiry, I will just read it out. To give evidence or to produce a document or a thing in relation to any inquiry. So if there is any inquiry going on, then they can issue summons, which means to say, ఈ section 59 నుంచి 67 దాకా కూడా దేనికైనా కూడా వాళ్ళు సమన్స్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. హౌఎవర్ దేర్ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ బీన్ అన్ ఎంక్వైరీ గోయింగ్ ఆన్. జస్ట్ లైక్ దట్ దే కెనాట్ ఇష్యూ సమన్స్ టు ఎంక్వైర్. అంటే మిమ్మల్ని పిలిచిన తర్వాత మీరు ఏం చేస్తుంటారు, మీ పేరేంటి, లేకపోతే మీరు ఎంత వ్యాపారం చేస్తున్నారు, ఇలా అడగడానికి సమన్స్ ఇవ్వకూడదు. దేర్ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ బీన్ అ ప్రెసీడింగ్ సిచ్యువేషన్ వేర్ ఇన్ an inquiry should be going on by virtue of a third party information coming up, or by virtue of some information available on the portal through some tool. Then only they should issue those summons. They can issue those summons. Okay.
So
So
is an assessment and inquiry, sir?
Inquiry.
Is an assessment equal to an inquiry?
Assessment is also an inquiry, correct. During the course of assessment, they can issue summons to inquire about anything. Now, I will just take you people through through just this summons alone, okay? Few points relating to summons, because I've mentioned this, few points relating to summons I will just share, okay? So this is in 70, to give evidence or to produce any documents. This is only in relation to any inquiry, that's it. అంటే ఎవిడెన్స్ ఇవ్వచ్చు, డాక్యుమెంట్ ఇవ్వచ్చు, ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్ ఇన్ ఎనీ ఇంక్వైరీ ఇన్ ది సేమ్ మేనర్. వితౌట్ ఎన్ ఎంక్వైరీ పెండింగ్ యూ కెనాట్ ఇష్యూ సమన్స్. ఓకే. సో దీస్ ఆర్ కోడ్ ఆఫ్ సివిల్ ప్రొసీజర్లోకి ఇది వస్తుంది. సమన్ అనేది ఇట్ ఈస్ అ జుడిషియల్ ప్రొసీడింగ్. అసెస్మెంట్ ఈస్ అ క్వాసీ జుడిషియల్ ప్రొసీడింగ్, బట్ వన్స్ దే ఇష్యూ సమన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అ జుడిషియల్ ప్రొసీడింగ్ ఓన్లీ. ఓకే. సో నెక్స్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇస్ who has to attend in a summon? సమన్ లో ఎవరు అటెండ్ అవ్వాలి? ఇప్పుడు ఓనర్ ఎండి ఆఫ్ ఏ కంపెనీకి సమ్మన్ ఇచ్చారు, ఆయన అటెండ్ అవ్వాలా, ఎవరైనా పంపించచ్చా? ఏ ఆన్సర్ చెప్పినా ఇట్స్ ఓకే అండ్ బట్ ప్లీజ్ రెస్పాండ్.
Authorized person can appear.
Are you sure, sir?
Let's
Authorized person, because someone is in
on the side of the company, because every time the company will not be able to have the higher authority coming in.
కరెక్ట్. ది ఆన్సర్ ఇస్ కరెక్ట్, బట్ ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ వై ఇట్ ఇస్ కరెక్ట్. 2024 ఫైనాన్స్ యాక్ట్లో అమెండ్ చేశారు. ఏమనంటే దాంట్లో ఆర్ బై అన్ ఆథరైజ్డ్ రిప్రజెంటేటివ్ అని స్పెసిఫిక్గా సెక్షన్ 71A either in person or by authorized representative అని they have incorporated. Until 2024, authorized representative cannot attend, only the MD of the company should attend, or the owner of the company should attend. However, there were many judicial precedents wherein people were complaining that it is a huge problem for every time the owner of the company to come and attend, for which reason they incorporated that authorized representative also can attend. Okay. Now, authorized representative needs to take a specific wakalat for this to attend, because when a section 70 notice is issued as summons, then in relation to the summons issued by your good self, I hereby authorize so and so person to represent on my behalf, is what should be the content of the wakalat. It cannot be a general one. Okay. Now, physical attendance before the proper officer. Yes, physical attendance has to be there in summons. Can it be virtual? Can somebody answer? Summons, can it be virtual? Summons లో మనం వర్చువల్ గా అటెండ్ అవుతామని చెప్పచ్చా? హలో sir, anybody?
Generally, summons would mean that the assessing officer has got additional authority to detain the person. Therefore, maybe just a net connection will not help him.
Correct. So there is no such situation wherein non-physical or virtual attendance is there. Virtual attendance అనేది it is not prescribed. It is not there in any notification or in any circular, or nor it is there in any office order issued by CBS. So physical attendance before the proper officer, it is a must. Okay. So there should be the proper officer, whoever issues summons, should have been a proper officer, must have obtained a written approval from the assistant commissioner or deputy commissioner. Now, if a mana language lo, if a DCTO, that is deputy assistant commissioner, DCTO or ACTO, can he issue summons? He can issue, but there should be an assistant commissioner, that is CTO authorization. Okay. So, and can a superintendent of central tax issue summons? Yes, only if he has got an authorization from the assistant commissioner, else he cannot issue. Okay, there should be a prior with approval, written approval should be there, right? Purpose is only this, to provide evidence, document, thing, or statement. It is a judicial proceeding, can be issued only in relation to an inquiry. So else if you don't attend summons, what is going to happen? 25,000 is the penalty. Okay. So just in case it is not possible for you to attend, then what can happen? Suppose summons ఇచ్చారు, మనం attend అవ్వలేదు. What can happen? 25,000 penalty. What else can happen? What else can happen? Any answer is okay. ఎవరైనా చెప్తారా? Nothing else can happen. Usually 2-3 summons ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత they would ask for a prosecution. Ex parte orders, if any, yes, of course, but other than that, they cannot do anything. Other than that, actually, they cannot do anything.
I think his audio is, yeah.
I'm so sorry, there was a power lost. Power was lost here. Now, am I audible?
Yes, Rao, you are.
So I was just talking about this. If summons is issued and you don't attend, they can issue another summons. Still you don't attend, they can issue another summons. Still you don't attend, just 25,000 penalty. That's it. అలాగని ఇలా చేయమని చెప్పట్లేదు, బట్ ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ we as tax practitioners, we should have this, we should always advise for compliance, just in case it does not happen, then this is what we can do.
25,000 is for each non-compliance, or is it for that matter particularly?
It is for each non-compliance. So 3 notices, 25,000 can be issued at most. That is what can happen. So must have a DIN as per circular. So someone should have a DIN. However, friends, I should tell you this, that DIN is a procedural requirement. The procedural requirement and such technical lapses, at times the court would take cognizance, but sometimes the courts do not take cognizance. So sometimes when a summon is issued but a DIN is not present, please go be present and ask for a proper DIN. Tell them that my client is asking for a proper DIN. But let us not, go to the extent of writing that DIN is not there, that's why I'm not going to attend. Because we don't want to, one thing is raise technicalities and then lose the case ultimately. Or the second thing is practically irritate the officer. So reference should be made to context. So this is very important when a summon is issued in relation to any proceeding under this law where there is an inquiry pending, then they should be able to specify if you are an accused, co-accused, or witness, because this is a criminal proceeding. Remember, this is not a quasi-judicial proceeding. This is a judicial proceeding. So not criminal, this is a judicial proceeding. So therefore, they should be able to mention whether you are requested to attend before me as an accused or co-accused or witness in a case relating to so-and-so, and in a case where an inquiry, so-and-so inquiry is being conducted. Okay. So, so this is important, right? So there are many number of case laws wherein they said that it must be issued very judiciously and sparingly. at the first go, just like that, don't give summons. And also don't issue summons asking them to submit information, especially such information which is already available on the portal. There are innumerable judgments. So whenever a summon is issued and it is not clear, then you can certainly write to the department asking one thing, sir, what is pending against me? Second thing, am I accused, co-accused, or witness? Third is, what is the information that I should bring which is not in your possession? Fourth is, what is the inquiry pending against me? And can you please submit that evidence so that during when I attend the summons, I should be able to submit a proper response. We can certainly, as tax practitioners, write to the department saying, I have been issued summons to attend before your good self on 31st of July, but kindly let me know the following. Okay, we are compliant, we are tax compliant persons only. We will let, however, for a better preparation and better statement that can be recorded there. So please respond on this. So this would always, as tax practitioner, strengthen our standard and stature before the department. Okay. So whether department DGGI or the State Revenue Investigation Department, they can issue summons. Yes, they are also deemed to be proper officers under Section 2, subsection 91. So they can also issue summons. Can the attendance be through virtual mode? No, that is not prescribed. So there are many case laws which I am just putting on the screen. In all these case laws, the court went very heavily on the department, saying just like that, you can't keep issuing so many summons for 8 times, 10 times, or asking them to come tomorrow morning, just one day time, or at a short notice, or telling them that, or if you issue summons a week in advance for a date which is there after a week, but still they file an adjournment. And if you think it's a fit case, then do not levy penalty under 122. Give them, more time, ample time, because after all, these are quasi-judicial proceedings and summon is a judicial proceeding. So uh, that benefit should be there, that natural justice benefit should be there. Should all questions during summons be answered? ఇది ఎవరైనా చెప్తారండి? సమన్స్ జరిగేటప్పుడు అన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆన్సర్ చేయాలా? రామ్దేవ్ సార్.
Personal or unrelated to business, maybe.
Can I intervene for a minute?
సార్ ఏమండి?
Can I intervene?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
As Rahul, you have pointed out earlier, I concur with you that any summon issued by a quasi-judicial authority is governed not by any specific act but by the
Correct. Code of Civil Procedure. Correct.
Earlier it was.
Correct.
First thing. So as per that Civil Procedure Code, any summon issued directed in the name of a person is supposed to respond accordingly as mentioned in the summon.
Correct.
If anything is there which is irrelevant for him, he can respond like that.
Correct. So if anything that is irrelevant, he can respond like that. Also, at the time of summons, there would be many flurry of questions, many questions that would be asked. So you have all the choice in the world to respond or not to respond, or to say that I do not know, or you can even say that I don't want to respond on this. Okay. But so this is a matter of, but very judiciously you should be able to answer, because not all the time we want to irritate the department. Okay. Can silence be maintained? Yes, you can. You have the right to maintain silence. Can this statement be retracted later? If you are going to give a statement at the time of summons, can it be retracted, withdrawn later? Yes, it can be withdrawn. However, that would come with professional experience only. Retraction of a statement, it would come when should we retract and all, it will come over after some time. So can somebody tell me what is cross-examination? Can somebody tell me, please tell me what is cross-examination? At the time of summons, you go visit the officer. Then how is cross-examination relevant? Everyone చెప్పగలరా, please? Ramna Reddy sir. Ramkrishna Reddy sir.
If there is some kind of insinuation or some kind of evidence with there, and we can take the stand that we want to cross-examine the other party and find out the real fact.
Right. So in connection, if you are attending as a accused or as a witness, wherein the reason for summoning you is because somebody else has given some statement or somebody has produced some evidence, then you can ask or demand the officer to share that evidence with you, and also demand that you want to cross-examine the other person on whose information you are summoned. Okay. So adi kuda we have that right. Okay. So having knowledge of this will come handy at some point of time. Maybe we will not practically use it, but at least when we talk what I'm talking now, ivanni kuda, when we talk before the officer, sometimes the officer might have to think for the second time if I should insist on a statement being recorded or insist on something else. Okay, he would think for the second time. So then there are other case laws also, which I'm just showing on the screen. Then details of cross-examination of witness by authorities would render proceedings as void. This is a Kerala High Court judgment. So this judgment also you can just go through later. Okay. Can questions be answered later? Yes, you can certainly answer the questions later. Okay. Cannot be used as a means to get formats filled. Friends, sometimes we receive a mail saying you please fill this format. Should we fill that format? It depends on which proceeding is going on. If section 61 proceeding is going on, then you will just simply reply to ASMT 10. But beyond that, there is nothing that you have to do. Okay. But if a summon is being given, and along with that summon there is a format to be filled, a format through which they want to obtain some information, then you should be in a position to decide whether I should fill up this table or not fill this table. Okay. So it is not a necessity that you have to fill up everything that is given to you. Okay. Information available online or digitally, you need not reproduce again. You can give in the statement. All those are already available on the portal. You please download. But it would be good to say that I'm going to submit it as a matter of, being soft on the department. Summons for fishing inquiry, can they issue summons to initiate an inquiry? No. After an inquiry only summons can be issued, not for a fishing inquiry. There should be some reasonable time for attendance. I already mentioned piecemeal information, multiple summons in the earlier case laws. The courts went heavily on the department saying, in one case, in the Bombay High Court case, they issued about 13 summons, every time asking for new information. Then they went to the court on the summons, and they filed a writ petition, and the court went heavily on the department. So summoning MD, CFO, CEOs, if it is only of utmost requirement, then they are expected to do that. Otherwise, no. The courts held this. So those case laws would encompass the answers relating to all the questions on the screen. Okay. This is PV Ramana Reddy versus Union of India. There were many observations. Okay. These are the observations. You can please go through this case also. PV Ramana Reddy. It is a very given by the apex court. Okay. This also you can please go through later on. I'm skipping the observations. Is the statement recorded relevant in the proceedings? So relevancy of statements under under certain circumstances. So be it under section 61 or 62 proceeding, wherein you don't file the returns, or 65 audit case or 67 inspection case. Suppose they give a summon and a statement is recorded. So how is that relevant? That is relevant because section 136 says it is relevant for the purposes of this act. So section 70 is referred to in section 136, wherein they say during the course shall be relevant for the purpose of proving in any further case. Now, then whatever statement is recorded is relevant. Okay. So section 136 also, just please go through vis-a-vis the section 70. Okay. So this is the relevance of now summons. And anything on summons before I go into self-assessment, section 59. Anything on summons? ఏమైనా అడగవలసిన ఉంటే you can please ask. There are some representatives also, reminders and then ex parte assessment. Yeah, okay, that's so. Anybody want to say something? Chandrasekhar sir, Hitesh, you're there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So,
Yes, sir. Please proceed, Rahulji.
right,
No, I think no one is ready.
right. So I'll just go to the next. These are the different types of assessment that we are talking about. Self-provisional assessment, summary assessment, okay, tax scrutiny of tax returns, which is section 61, then assessment of unregistered persons. So what's an assessment? Now, there were many, initially under the GST law, there were many cases wherein authorization for audit was given, but authorization for assessment was not given. There was authorization for conducting audit or inspection, but to pass the assessment order and to consequently raise a demand through DRC 07, create a liability in the liability register, there was no a specific authorization given. So thereby later after many courts, made this observation, there was an amendment saying that now authorizations are being given for audit as well as for adjudication. Assessment means to determine or to adjudicate on a matter. Adjudicate is a central GST terminology. Assessment is generally a state GST terminology. Okay. So in assessment, the first section 2 subsection 11 is the assessment section. Okay. Wherein assessment is defined. Now, the most powerful form of assessment is section 59, which is self-assessment. Now, through self-assessment, the department and the legislature is relying heavily on the taxpayer, saying you have all the freedom in the world. Please be honest. Please show some integrity and declare what you actually have to declare. Okay. Shall undertake self-assessment of the taxes and furnish a return under section 39. Okay. So this is a huge power given to the to our own self. Now, Ramdev sir, a little while ago, he was mentioning. Um, he was mentioning what if there are some inadvertent errors. So we should be able to prove in the self-assessment because that's a power given to us. And we are, until such time any section is invoked, we are ourselves deemed to be a quasi-judicial authority by virtue of section 16, section 59, though section 2, subsection 91 does not call us a proper officer. Still, for all practical purposes, we are a proper officer for the purpose of section 59. So, when there are certain inadvertent errors, we should be able to prove all by ourselves before any section 61 or 65 or 62 is initiated. We should be able to prove all by ourselves, or even make a payment through DRC 03, selecting the voluntary payment of tax and also mentioning in the remarks column. So many times the DRC 03 challan is generated by our office staff. Just in case an office staff or an accountant generates, please educate them that the remarks column has to be properly filled. Nobody knows why that DRC 03 challan is taken. The DRC 03 challan must have been paid either voluntarily or at the time of annual return, or because some officer called you and told you, boss, your 2B versus 3B is different and there is a variation, or some ASMT 10 notice is issued. We do not know. So please mention why this is voluntarily. This has been identified during the course of our internal audit by our internal auditor or bar chartered accountant, namely so and so. He identified this. That is why we are paying. This will always save us, because I'll tell you one case what happened. In one case, they availed input tax credit by mistake. By mistake, the seller filed and it got reflected in the buyers, that is my client's SSEs to be, it got reflected. And naturally, whatever was reflected, our accountant, our intelligent accountant, what he did was he claimed all the credit. And he utilized the credit also, not just claimed, but also utilized the input tax credit, which actually does not belong to us. Later on, after about 6 to 8 months, could be at the time of annual return finalization or some year-end finalization, or some statutory audit, they identified this. When they identified this, they made a voluntary payment. Now, this was because they made a voluntary payment, and the penalty that they paid was under section 74. 15% penalty they paid. Now, why they had to pay 15% penalty was that without receiving the goods, without receiving the invoice, without making any payment to anybody, not satisfying any conditions prescribed under section 16, they claimed the input tax credit. So they somehow uh, wanted to get rid of this once forever, and they paid 15% penalty under section 64 through DRC 03. Later on, this case was marked by the Department of Revenue Intelligence. It was identified by them, and a note was sent to the jurisdictional registering authority. Now the registering authority, as if he has caught some daku, he sought permission under section 67 for inspection, issued INS 01 and pounced on them and caught hold of them and said, this input tax credit you are not eligible. Wherein our SSC, they said, sir, we already discharged this tax. We also paid some penalty. But they said this penalty is not sufficient. 15% is not sufficient. You should pay 100% penalty. And they in fact levied 100% penalty. Now, in such a situation, what is correct? Should 15% should have been paid, or can 100% be paid? If we understand this question, then we will be able to understand what is an inadvertent error, what is a mistake. This we will be able to understand. I'll just stop the screen share. మీకు నా క్వశ్చన్ అర్థమైందండి? వాలంటరీగా 15% పెనాల్టీ తోటి ట్యాక్స్ పేమెంట్ చేసేసాడు, రాంగ్ గా క్లెయిమ్ చేసిన ఇన్పుట్ ట్యాక్స్ క్రెడిట్. ది ట్యాక్స్ పేయర్ సేస్ he mistakenly claimed, department says he fraudulently claimed. Okay, so they levied tax at the rate of 100%. Now in such a case, what to do?
But on what basis department claims it is fraudulent?
They say you have not received the goods. They asked a questionnaire. They issued summons. Did you receive the goods? All the section 16 conditions. To everything, it was nil. So because you have done that, we are levying 100% penalty. That is what happened. So what should ideally we be doing in such a case? What should be our argument in such a case?
We have to establish how we have claimed inadvertently. That is the way out for this actually.
Correct. Then they say you have yourself paid the penalty under section 74. You are admitting that it is a case of fraud. You have paid 15% penalty. However, you have paid less. You should have paid 100%. That is their argument. And also they say that it is for the department to detect under section 74. It is not under section 59 that you are making a self-assessment on some fraudulent transaction which you think is a mistake. Hitesh, you got my point?
Yes, yes, please.
They say under section 74, I will just read the text of the heading of the section, determination of tax pertaining to the period so and so, so and so. So determination is done by me, not by you. The fraud is established by me, not by your own self, is the argument of the department. Right? So there would be such circumstances also. In these circumstances, we have put forth an argument saying that before the correct, now did you take cognizance of my DRC 03? Did you issue DRC 04? You did not issue DRC 04. Had you issued DRC 04, the matter would have been closed, but you did not issue. So my DRC 03 is pending for appropriation before you. DRC 04 procedure is just appropriating. Until then, it is parked. After DRC 04 is issued, it is appropriated. All right. So it is this appropriation from your side is pending. Now, after you've issued show cause notice, right? After you have issued DRC 01A and before you issued DRC 01, I've made the payment. I've made the payment long before, but even otherwise it is before DRC 01A only. Right? So you appropriate that now was the contention. Okay. You can appropriate that now, or you do one thing, you against that DRC 03, we will claim the refund. Can you give the refund of the penalty paid? They can no way give the refund of penalty paid. So that is how we put forth the argument saying that though determination is your job, it is not my job. Still voluntarily I've complied well before DRC 01A was issued, and thus 15% of tax I'm paying. So this our own assessment, our own determination is not just at 3B stage, but at various other stages later on also. Okay. I'll just come back to the screen. So self-assessment are under section 59. Areas for self-assessment. Can somebody tell me what are the various areas for self-assessment? It is very simple. One is registration, wherein you yourself declare what products you are going to deal in, goods, services, etc. Nature of registration, the name board, it has to be displayed. All this is to be done by your own self. Then outward supply, classification, nature, point of supply. Point of supply is a huge matter of debate, especially for those contractors, since we have initiated one point on contractors. Now, I'll just ask one question on that. Hitesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the contractor this month, they have done this month, they have completed the work. It is being done to a government authority, municipal corporation or some urban development authority. That is in the month of July, they have completed the work. In the month of August, the work got certified in the measurement book, that is the M book.
Right.
And in the month of August itself, it got reflected in the TDS, that 1% whatever they have. Hello, it got reflected in TDS in the month of August only, but they released the payment in the month of December. So in which month is it a point of supply? In which month is it a point of supply? This is just for discussion only. Okay. So even if we are wrong, we'll just mutually share.
Request members to put your answers so that it becomes interactive. Ramarao sir says it's July.
Yeah, please mute those who are just okay. Ramarao sir says it should be in July. Okay. When it was recorded in M book, Sudhakar Reddy sir. Correct. So I'll not stretch this further. So this is when it was recorded in the measurement book. Why is it so? Sudhakar Reddy sir, please unmute yourself and చెప్పండి please. Please enlighten us. ఎందుకు మీరు అంత కరెక్ట్గా అట్లా చెప్పారు? What's the logic? Sudhakar Reddy sir. కొంచెం అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి. Hitesh, can you just unmute Sudhakar Reddy sir?
Yes, 1 minute.
That was the time when the work was executed. When it was executed the work. Okay. సో ఆన్సర్ నేనే చెప్తానా, సార్ అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోలేదు. సో ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఆఫ్ వర్క్ కాదండి ఇక్కడ మనకు అవసరం అయ్యేది సేల్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ యాక్ట్ 1930. సో సేల్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ యాక్ట్ 1930 కి గతంలో మనకి వ్యాట్ పీరియడ్లో 20th సెంచరీ ఫైనాన్స్ కార్పొరేషన్ అని సుప్రీంకోర్టు జడ్జ్మెంట్ ఒకటి ఉండేది, వేర్ ఇన్ ద గూడ్స్ దేర్ వాజ్ అ ప్రాసెస్ ఆఫ్ అసర్టైన్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్. ఓకే. సో గూడ్స్ లో స్పెసిఫిక్ అండ్ అసర్టైన్ గూడ్స్, అన్అసర్టైన్ గూడ్స్, ఫ్యూచర్ గూడ్స్ ఉంటాయి. So though this is a service and not a good, similar analogy. Sir, please unmute.
Who is
Please
that?
unmute him. No? Okay. So there was the definition of goods vis-a-vis the 20th century finance corporation case, in which that was a comprehensive judgment given by the Supreme Court, Apex Court, in which it said until both of you identify. For example, I am a seller of this mobile phone. I show this phone and he say, yeah, boss, I like it. Then again, I have to say, okay, I'll sell it. Until I say I am ready to sell it, then he would say, sir, I'm not going to take it like this. Will you give this in a packed one? Then I may say, no, I will not give it. Maybe it's not a sale then. So the final point at which it becomes a sale or a supply in the context of the GST law is when both the parties agree. So when it is certified, work is certified in the M book, in as much as you are already, in your opinion, you've already done the work and your bill is for 1 lakh, though you practically don't raise a bill, but still he has to certify it for 1 lakh. He may certify it for 98,000. Okay. So the point at which tax has to be paid is not when TDS is deducted, is not when you receive the money, but when it is certified in the M book. Now, why is it so? When it is a continuous supply, right? The definition now you should go to continuous supply. When it is a continuous supply,
Recouple.
some you have to
Sir, I
mute.
request everybody to please mute yourself. Everybody is getting.
Rahul, please.
We should treat this as a continuous supply, because if a work order is given for 10 lakhs and that month you have done a 1 lakh work, for example, then it is a continuous supply, and every continuous supply for every bunch of agreed amount, you will say it is 1 lakh, you'll say it is 98,000, you will agree to it. Then that 98,000 is the value of supply, and that is the time at which which is the point of supply. So at that point of time, you will have to pay. Now, in our case, in July you have to pay, but you don't release the, you don't, in August you have to pay, not July. In August, the work is certified in my example. So, but you receive the money in December. So what to do? Most of the contractors, they pay in December only when they get. You will have to pay interest from July, that from August to December. And that is one query that can be raised during the course of audit, if the audit officer is really well versed in this point of taxation or the point of supply rules. Okay. Any discussion on this? You are free to talk, please.
Sir, this is the most challenging part we are finding in the day-to-day practice, sir. Because all the contractors, they are not getting the money, and sometimes money is even received after 2 years. The problem is the bills are not raised, and even the rates are also being changed in the meantime. So this is the biggest challenge that we are facing. Let us say, even if 2 years before some work is done, up till now they have not received the payment. So unless and until it is reported in GSTR 7 TDS section, so we are not, usually contractors are not coming forward to report it. So how to go about it?
Sir, there is no other way. We should just advise them that they should pay in advance, and receiving money is not the criteria. So it is better that what practically we can think of doing, though, we should think for the second time. Please think for the second time what I'm advising now. But what practically we should be able to do is, by 11th of every month, when we file the GSTR1 and we file the return of outward supplies, I make sure that those returns that are being complicated returns that are being filed by my office, usually our office files few returns and most of them the accountants file. So few complicated ones we file. So when we are filing, we calculate the tax, we calculate the outward supply, the tax on the outward supply, and inform the client, boss, this is 10 lakhs tax you have to pay. And you're tentatively, you may be able to get some 5 lakhs credit basing on the purchase register sent by you. So 5 lakhs tax net you will have to pay. Are you ready for that? If he is not ready, then we have to examine whether we are able to postpone the point of supply. If we cannot postpone the point of supply, then it is advisable that we disclose it. We disclose and file that return. There is no other way, sir. However, MBOok is one means by which, the work certified, then you raise a dispute. See, this practically I'm telling, this is there nowhere, but you raise a dispute, you are not happy with 98,000, you raised a bill for 1 lakh. In MBOok, he certifies and writes 98,000. Then you raise a dissent with the department saying, no, I am not satisfied with 98,000. Thereby, you are not agreeing, thereby ascertainment is being postponed, and you will agree only when the bill is released. So, I don't know. You should think of this. Ramdev sir, please respond on this. Ramdev sir.
Please repeat your.
Sir, in this month, certain work is done in July. In August, it got certified. Now, the point of supply is when the work is certified. This is for sure. There is no debate on this. Okay, because both the parties are agreeing to it. And the work, you expect the bill to be released for 1 lakh, but the work was certified for 98,000. The money is released 6 months later. So what to do when you don't have money? You already invested in the working capital on the road or some construction or some civil work, something, or the drain. You already invested on that. Now you have to invest in tax also, is the question. Now,
Yeah, that is the same problem we are facing as professional chartered accountant.
correct. Now
For EST, we are not receiving fees, but we are paying GST on that.
Correct. So that's why, as a chartered accountant, it's better that we maintain books of accounts in cash for professionals. So that apart, for July and August, what in August we can think of doing? I don't know how far you will agree with me. my perspective I am sharing. In August, you write a letter to the municipal corporation or the urban development authority saying that I do not agree for 98,000. Thereby, you will be able to debate later that I did not agree, even though he certified in the M book. I finally, put it in debate, and it still remained unascertained. Basing on 20th Century Finance Corporation case, you can just go through that case. It may help you. Okay, and you can agree finally when the bill is released. So just think of this, how far this will work. Just think of this. Okay, Ramdev sir, అర్థమైందండి what I said?
The thing is that any disputed amount is there which is lying with any agency or any person who has availed services or received goods. That is a different thing. But once you have raised the invoice, you are supposed to pay tax on the amount of the invoice. Subsequently, if you think that something is left in between for dispute, etc., then in my opinion, till it is finally settled, you can reverse it by raising some notes, debit credit notes.
Correct. In the case of government department, we don't raise an invoice, sir, generally. It is only, it is one-way traffic. It is from their side only. They only certify, they only finalize the tax. That's it. They don't give us an opportunity to raise an invoice,
No,
unfortunately.
then here one thing, Rahul, without raising invoice, how can tax be paid? Something
That
we
is
have to generate, no? Whether invoice or bill, whatever.
correct. That is also correct. But we don't submit the contractor does not submit the invoice to them because it is of no use between him and the department. Practically of no use, though technically we have to raise an invoice. I agree. Correct. So I'll just move to the next point. Areas for self-assessment. Another one is reverse charge. To what extent 9394 is applicable, and especially the reverse charge on rents. To what extent it is applicable? That this is one area for self-assessment. And then inward supply conditions, belated claims, 180 days, rule 4243, 17.5. So all these are the various inward supply self-assessment situations. Okay, the various conditions to be met. There are 4 conditions which we already know. Goods should have been received, invoice should be there, payment should be made, tax should have been paid by the tax should have been paid. It is not mentioned tax should be paid by the other party, by the supplier or anybody. But finally, there are so many judgments that that tax should have been paid by the other person. Okay. So all these are the various areas for self-assessment. So at the time of filing the return, sometimes they give us the data on the last date. It's always better that we get ready and inform the client that please get ready for the late fees, right? Or whatever is the assessment, please, whatever is the actual assessment, if you're getting the data on the last date and don't file it in haste, please deposit the amount of tax in the cash ledger, at least in the cash ledger. Okay, whatever is the tax, if 1 lakh is, yeah, if 1 lakh is the tax, please deposit that 1 lakh in the cash ledger, but file the return after checking for all these conditions. Okay, so this is my suggestion for the self-assessment. Okay, refund of taxes also. In refund of taxes, the principal challenge that comes up is there are various types of claims and various evidences. So the evidences, most of the times they do not attach the evidences, because of which the RFD 01 is rejected. The claim for refund is rejected. So the evidences also have to be attached. And always write, for when you apply for a refund of tax, it is always better that you follow up that online refund of tax application RFD 01 with a manual personal hearing attendance request. Because during the course of personal hearing, we can always ask them, sir, are you satisfied or do you require any more documents? And we can record that in the personal hearing, because sometimes they can reject just like that, or for some other reason they can reject, which keeps happening once in 1 in 10 cases or 520 cases, we don't know. So it's always better that you ask for a PH. Okay, personal hearing. Are they bound to give PH for refund, personal hearing for refund? Can somebody answer? Chandrasekhar sir? For personal hearing, do they, for refund, do they need to give personal hearing? సిద్ధిరాములు సార్, రిఫండ్కి అప్లై చేస్తే పర్సనల్ హియరింగ్ ఇవ్వాలండి?
Chari sir says no, not required. Sudhakar says not required.
Not required. That is, for that reason, it is also an appealable proceeding. RFD 01 application is an appealable proceeding, whatever the issue. Later on, whatever RFD refund orders the issue, it is an appealable proceeding, and therefore they are bound to give personal hearing. But not to take any chance, immediately after filing a refund application, RFD 01 file cheyagane, please follow it up with a mail to the department or a post to the department saying, we filed an application on so and so date, please accord us an opportunity of personal hearing before disposing the case. వాళ్ళు ఇవ్వాలి. ఇవ్వకపోతే మనం హైకోర్టుకి వెళ్ళి ఆ న్యాయం అంతా చేసుకోలేం మనం. సమ్టైమ్స్ ఇట్ బికమ్స్ వెరీ ఎక్స్పెన్సివ్. సో దట్స్ వై ఫాలో ఇట్ అప్ విత్ పిహెచ్ లెటర్. ఆ పిహెచ్ లెటర్ ఉన్నప్పుడు వాళ్ళు కొంచెం అలర్ట్గా ఉండి మనకు పర్సనల్ హియరింగ్ ఇచ్చే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. ఓకే. So now, in short, we will just go through the accounts and records. This is very much in short. Okay. Now, section 35, rule 56. Accounts records ante enti evarana cheppandi. Just stopping the screen share. Accounts records ante enti cheppandi. Accounts ante enti? Harnath Reddy sir. Srinivasulu, Karnat Srinivasulu sir. Accounts records. Shail Sharma sir. Very simple one. Accounts and records ante enti? దాంట్లోకి ఏమేమి వస్తాయి? Kota Satish Kumar, maintaining of input and output tax registers. Okay, partially, purchase sale register. Partially correct. You're partially correct. So, adi మనం అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవడమే ఇది స్పెసిఫిక్గా పెట్టాను. వాట్ లాస్ ఇస్ అది నేను మీకు ఇప్పుడు స్క్రీన్ మీద చూపిస్తున్నాను. ఓకే, వాట్ లాస్ ఇస్ అకౌంట్స్, వాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు మెయింటైన్. యూ నీడ్ టు మెయింటైన్ అకౌంట్స్, యూ నీడ్ టు మెయింటైన్ రికార్డ్స్, యూ నీడ్ టు మెయింటైన్ రిజిస్టర్స్. ఈ మూడు మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి మీరు. అకౌంట్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి, రికార్డ్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి కొన్ని చోట్ల, రిజిస్టర్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి కొన్ని చోట్ల. ఓకే. సో రూల్ 56 ఒకసారి చూడండి, ఒక్కసారి రూల్ 56 చూడండి. రూల్ 56లో సబ్ రూల్ 4 చూడండి, 56(4) చూడండి. ఓకే, ఇంతకీ అకౌంట్స్లో ఏం రాయాలి, రికార్డ్స్లో ఏం రాయాలి, రిజిస్టర్స్లో ఏం రాయాలి? వాటిలో అకౌంట్ రాయాలి, పర్టికులర్స్ రాయాలి, బుక్స్ ఆఫ్ అకౌంట్స్ రాయాలి, డాక్యుమెంట్స్ రాయాలి. ఓకే, సో అకౌంట్స్, రికార్డ్స్, రిజిస్టర్స్లో పర్టికులర్స్ రాయాలి, డాక్యుమెంట్స్ రాయాలి, ఇటువంటివన్నీ రాయాలన్నమాట. అది యాక్ట్లో మెన్షన్ అయ్యి ఉన్నది. సో నేను ఇప్పుడు అడిగే క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటి అంటే, నా దగ్గరికి ఒక జిఎస్టీ ఆఫీసర్ వచ్చారు, బుక్స్ ఆఫ్ అకౌంట్స్ తెచ్చుకోమన్నారు. వాళ్ళు అడిగేది ఎప్పుడు ఆ వ్యాట్ నుంచి, రెజీమ్ నుంచి వచ్చారు కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు అడిగేది మీ ఆడిటెడ్ బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ ఇవ్వండి అంటారు. వన్ థింగ్. సెకండ్ థింగ్ ఈజ్ మీ పుస్తకాలు తెచ్చుకోండి, బుక్స్ ఆఫ్ అకౌంట్స్ తెచ్చుకోండి అన్నారు. నేను బుక్స్ ఆఫ్ అకౌంట్స్ ఎక్సెల్లో మెయింటైన్ చేశాను, ఎక్సెల్లో టైప్ చేసుకున్నాను నేను. Will an Excel statement, can an Excel statement be considered as books of accounts? Is it sufficient for section 35 and rule 56? Na Excel statement.
Satish Kumar sir says no.
No, Satish Kumar sir. Siddhiramulu sir. Unmute చేసుకోండి sir. Nobody else is answering. Satish Kumar sir is very active.
No, sir, this is not.
It should be sufficient because whatever way we maintain the books of accounts, they have to accept it. Then they can look at the mistakes if they find any.
Right. ఎవరు చెప్పారు సార్ ఆన్సర్ ఇది?
And Saranksha.
Correct sir. So we should really appreciate your understanding that books of accounts అంటే it is not the books of accounts prescribed as per the accounting standards. మన అకౌంటింగ్ స్టాండర్డ్స్ ప్రకారం రాసుకునే పుస్తకాలని కాదు. వాట్ ఎవర్ అకౌంట్ అంటే ఒక టీ ఫామ్లో ఉండి ఒక డెబిట్ క్రెడిట్ ఉండి అది ఎక్సెల్లో వేసుకున్నా కూడా అకౌంటే. రికార్డ్ అంటే రాసి, వాట్ ఈస్ ది మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ రికార్డ్? టు రైట్. On whatever it is written, it is a record as long as it conveys the information. Now, specifically for register, what they asked for register, I'm telling you, register of tax invoice, the register of credit notes, register of debit notes, register of delivery challan, received during the year. అది మెయింటైన్ చేయమన్నారు. సో రిజిస్టర్ అంటే కొంచెం స్పెసిఫిక్గా ఉండాలి. బట్ ఆల్ అదర్ థింగ్స్ వాటిలో ఏం అడిగారు? రికార్డ్స్లో ఏమి ఉండాలట, కింద ఏముంది, పర్టికులర్స్ ఉండాలట, అకౌంట్స్లో ఏమి ఉండాలట, పర్టికులర్స్ ఉండాలట. సో పర్టికులర్స్ ఉన్నది ఏదైనా కూడా చెలేగా అన్నమాట. అర్థమైందా? సో ఫర్ దిస్ రీజన్ ఏదో మనం టాలీలోనే ప్రింట్ తీసి దాన్ని స్పైరల్ బైండ్ చేయించి అదే తీసుకుని వెళ్ళాలన్న నెసెసిటీ లేదు. అవి ఉంటే ఇట్స్ గుడ్, ప్లీజ్ సబ్మిట్. ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్, డోంట్ ప్యానిక్. You can always submit information that is relevant for the purpose, which shows output ఎవరో ఆన్సర్ చెప్పినట్టుగా, which shows properly outward supply and return of outward supply, inward supply, return of inward supply, those debit credit notes, waybills and the goods sent for job work, that register, and goods sent for repairs, those registers, goods sent on sale on approval or basis, branch to branch, rule 55 delivery challans, those registers you maintain. అంటే అవి రాసుకున్నవి మనకి వాళ్ళకి సరిపడా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ సఫిషియంట్. ఓకే, రైట్. సో this I'll just provisional assessment. Now nobody does provisional assessment, so I'm just skipping this. So scrutiny of returns. Scrutiny of returns మనం అందరం ఫేస్ చేసేది ASMT 10. So any questions on scrutiny of returns? Any questions? How we are maintaining these books is irrespective. Correct, sir. Chari, sir, you are absolutely correct. As long as it gives complete information, it does not matter. You are absolutely correct, sir. Okay. So ఇవన్నీ మనకు తెలిసి ఉండాలి. Not that we want to do like this, but at least we should be knowing this. We should be confident on this. Okay. So any queries on section 61, ASMT 10?
Regarding this scrutiny of returns, sometimes even department ask entire books of accounts through scrutiny of returns.
Correct.
This is one major issue which we are facing.
Right.
Because they may skip sometime the other process. They just want to go through 61 and get it done.
Correct. So if we want to follow the rule, whatever is raised in ASMT 10, we submit to that extent. But if we want to be smart enough, go get everything done and get a speaking order so that during section 65, you can always claim that it's already examined.
Correct.
Right. So it depends on how you want to approach that situation.
Right. But if you see the provision, it says
Scrutiny
that
of returns. Correct.
the information should come out of a return.
Yeah, exactly correct. Absolutely correct. It is not that you get the books of, even for that matter, if we just divert a little and talk about section 67, section 67, we all know talks about, it is similar to section 148. Section 67 is similar to 148 of the income tax law, right? Where there is any reason to believe, right? So that reason to believe is totally neglected now.
Correct.
So in the act, there are few phrases that are neglected and practically things are going on. However, it is up to us whether we want to, just buy peace with the department and just get along, because we are confident that, if there are some mistakes in the returns and department identifying them can lead them to section 73 penalty, 73(5) penalty, then we can certainly argue on legal grounds. So there are three aspects of this understand and an approach to a case. One is facts, the other is law, the third is spirit of law. Okay, how we relate facts to law is one perspective, how we relate facts to spirit of law is another perspective, right? So always banking on law may not help. The facts itself could be strong. So sometimes if your facts are strong and if you have a valid case, just get 61 done if you want to get it done for the entire produce books, whatever they want. But see that you get a speaking order or see that a notice is issued a show cause notice is issued and you respond and it is either dropped or paid off, so that during section 65, now you can always claim it is already examined. Okay, because the same matter cannot be re-examined. It would amount to revision, right? So now I'll ask one question. ASMT 10 is issued for some on some matter filed in the return, suppose 17.5 or rule 4243. Okay, ineligible credit or reversal of credit, proportionate reversal of credit. In such a case, when that was pending, there was a section 65 audit. During 65 audit or 67 inspection, they raised the same point that you cannot take the credit of 17.5. That is ineligible goods. Can you now claim that ASMT 10 is already issued for that matter? Can you claim?
No, sir, for audit we cannot claim, but if audit is already done, then ASMT is to be checked up. One can say audit is already conducted. And you can go with it.
Sir, can you please repeat it? Can you please repeat?
I'm saying that if ASMT is already done, the
ASMT 10
audit-
is given, notice is given, but the proceedings are ASMT 12 is not concluded.
yes, but the audit party also gives us,
Same question.
it is very well within its power to do it. If audit is already finished, finalized, then I can go and take a plea in ASMT 10 saying that, okay, this has already been done in audit.
Correct, sir. So it is like it happens like this, that what you said is, you know, I'll share my understanding. My understanding is section 61 is basing on scrutiny of returns. This is basing on scrutiny of books and records. Okay. So scrutiny of returns gets subsumed in a bigger into a bigger section, and therefore you can reply to ASMT 10 saying that it is already taken up during audit, and ASMT 10 they would thereby close it. So you cannot say that it is already initiated, so therefore under audit you cannot talk on this. No, because an audit is taken up basing on the return filed and the discrepancies observed in the return filed. Any discrepancy in the return filed, they have an opportunity to give ASMT 10 or to take up an audit also. So audit is consequent to the understanding of the discrepancies, and therefore the ASMT 10 can get subsumed into the section 6. So any other discussion on section 61? Right. So Chandrasekhar sir, the time is 5:30. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah, you can continue. Rahul, how much time you want?
Sir, these they can keep going on, na?
Maybe another,
Sir.
we can up to, I think 6 o'clock we can take it. Now it's 5:30. Another 15 minutes you can take up some points. After that, question answer session will take.
Okay. Um, uh,
Because most of the questions are answered, I'm sure there'll not be much questions.
right. So I'll just screen share with you the section 61 point. Okay. Screen share this. Now under scrutiny of returns. Okay. The registered person would furnish an explanation, blah, blah, blah. This is all normal only, which we already know. There is nothing new about this. Okay. ASMT 10 ఇస్తారు, ASMT 11 రిప్లై మనం ఇస్తాము. ASMT 12లో వాళ్ళు ఐదర్ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తారు ఆర్ డ్రాప్ చేస్తారు. డ్రాప్ చేస్తే గొడవ లేదు, యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తే డిఆర్సి లైబిలిటీ DR07 ఇస్తారు, లైబిలిటీ రిజిస్టర్లోకి వెళ్తుంది. లైబిలిటీ రిజిస్టర్ మనం యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తే పే చేస్తాం, యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయకపోతే అపీల్ ఫైల్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, ఇట్ ఈస్ అ సింపుల్ ప్రాసెస్. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ us would already be knowing most of that process. Okay, so now you have to understand this. If the explanation is not satisfactory, or during extended time no proper response is given, then any of the following sections can be invoked. Okay, this is what I was just mentioning. If satisfactory response is not given, then the proper officer can go in seeking an audit under Section 65 or an inspection search and seizure under Section 67. Okay. Now, having spoken about Section 67, I want to share in short a little about Section 67. Shall I do that?
Please.
కొంచెం సెక్షన్ 67 గురించి మాట్లాడినా.
మాట్లాడండి.
So section 67, please pay attention everybody. Section 67 relates, it is divided into two parts mainly. The first part is 67.1, the second part is 67.2. In section 67.1, it is inspection. In section 67.2, it is search and seizure. Are we clear? 67.1 is inspection, 67.2 is search and seizure. Okay.
Yes.
Now, under section 67.1, what is to be issued is an INS 01. Under section 67.2, what is to be issued is INS 02. Unfortunately, I'm telling this, in many cases I've seen, unfortunately, they come with INS 01, seize everything and then go away, which is just against law. Okay. You cannot seize goods with an INS 01 in your hand. Okay. Because section 67.1 says that you can inspect, you can take an authorization for inspection. After, then the next step would be you inspect everything, you find some deficiencies, then you obtain INS 02, quoting those deficiencies arising out of the observations made by virtue of 67.1, and then seek ki are babre yaha, see there are some unaccounted goods. This fellow, during inspection I have noted all this, I have taken a statement also, but these goods they may be get vanished by the time we do some search and seizure, or he may not declare this, so please give me an authorization. So I have a reason to believe that these goods need to be seized. So then INS 02 is issued by an authority not less in rank than a joint commissioner, right, who would issue an INS 02, and then you would proceed to seize those goods. Now, what goods are to be seized? What goods can goods be seized? Books be seized, documents be seized, cash be seized. These four. I request somebody to answer this, please. Books, documents, records, cash, goods. Can they be seized? Somebody please answer. This is becoming too one-way traffic, too much of one-way.
Request everyone, please reply through chat.
Sir, మనం ఇంటరాక్షన్ సార్, ఒకవేళ ఆన్సర్ అది కరెక్ట్ కాకపోయినా ఇట్ ఇస్ ఓకే సార్, ప్లీజ్. It's all our family only.
Start
practitioners family. Except cash, everything can be seized. Okay. Ramarao CH. Okay. Sivakumar sir. ఏం సీజ్ చేయొచ్చు సార్? Shivkumar sir. What can be seized? Okay, somebody else, Srinivas sir.
Books. Srinivas says books.
Srinivas, books can be seized. Okay. What else can be seized? Documents can be seized. Records can be seized. Goods can be seized.
Samamurthy sir, you are there?
సార్, నేను దీని ఆన్సర్ మీరు ఎవరైనా చెప్పిన తర్వాతే చెప్తాను సార్, ఎందుకంటే ఇది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇది మనకి చాలా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. ఎవ్వరు మనని థ్రెటన్ చేయడానికి వీల్లేదు. మిస్యూజ్ ఆఫ్ అథారిటీ చేయడానికి, కచ్చా బిల్స్ ఆర్ ఎనీ రిలేటెడ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ డాక్యుమెంట్. గూడ్స్ నో సార్, without this he cannot do business.
There is even a word called as things.
Things, correct.
Can
Correct.
also be seized.
Things can also be seized. Okay. So I will just read the text from 67.2. I appreciate all those who have given Ramarao sir, Srinivaslu, Ravi M, Ramarao CH, all these sirs. Okay. Now 67.2, I will take you through the text of this section, and there is Inspection Search and Seizure Handbook released by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Please go through. Computer can be seized. Okay. Oh. So Srinivasulu garu, computer can be seized. So computer seize చేస్తే నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేస్తారు కంప్యూటర్ని? కంప్యూటర్ సీజ్ చేసి నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చేస్తారు శ్రీనివాసులు సార్? తప్పైనా సరే పర్లేదు, మీరు తెలుగులో చెప్పండి శ్రీనివాసులు గారు. కాపీస్ తీసుకుంటారు, తీసుకుని ఏం చేస్తారు? హార్డ్ డిస్క్ తీసుకుంటారు. చారీ సార్, హార్డ్ డిస్క్ తీసుకుంటారు, తీసుకుని వాట్ ఈస్ ది ప్రొసీజర్ ఆఫ్టర్ దాట్? మనకి ఇవి తెలియాలి. దిస్ ఇస్ ది ప్రాక్టీస్. మనకి ఇదే క్రక్స్ ఇది దీంట్లో సీజర్లో. ఏం చేయాలి? వాటిని సీజ్ చేసి, కంప్యూటర్ సీజ్ చేశారు, ఏం చేయొచ్చు? చెకింగ్ ఇన్వాయిస్ అవన్నీ. ఓకే. కంప్యూటర్ సీజ్ చేస్తే, హార్డ్ డిస్క్ సీజ్ చేస్తే, గెట్ ది డేటా. ద డేటా తీసుకుంటే, ఈజ్ ద డేటా ఆఫ్ ఎనీ ఎవిడెన్షియరీ వాల్యూ? దాని నుంచి డేటా తీశారు, ఇన్వెస్టిగేట్ చేశారు, నాది నంబర్ 2 అకౌంట్ అని హెడ్డింగ్ పెట్టుంది, ఎక్సెల్లో మొత్తం కొట్టున్నారు, వీళ్ళు డబ్బులు ఇచ్చారు, వాళ్ళు పంపించారు, వీళ్ళు చేశారు, వాళ్ళు చేశారని అవన్నీ రాస్తున్నాయి. జామ్ పండ్లాగా ఎక్సెల్ ఫైల్ దొరికిపోయింది, ఆర్ ఒక వర్డ్ డాక్యుమెంట్ దొరికింది, ఆర్ కొన్ని నంబర్ 2 ఇన్వాయిసెస్ దొరికాయి. డస్ ఇట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ ఎవిడెన్షియరీ వాల్యూ? క్యాన్ ది డిపార్ట్మెంట్ యాక్ట్ ఆన్ ఇట్? ఏమైనా యాక్షన్ తీసుకోవచ్చా? ఏమైనా డిపార్ట్మెంట్ రైజ్ చేయొచ్చా? నో. చారీ సార్, ప్లీజ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్. చారీ సార్, ప్లీజ్ అన్మ్యూట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ అండ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్. As it is one side record. One side record. Okay. Let me tell you friends, కంప్యూటర్ సీజ్ చేస్తే, ఎస్పెషలీ శ్రీనివాసులు కర్ణాటక గారి కోసం చెప్తున్నా, కంప్యూటర్ కనుక సీజ్ చేసిన, ఎనీ డిజిటల్ ఇంప్రింట్ సీజ్ చేస్తే, ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ టెక్నాలజీ యాక్ట్ ప్రకారం, ఐటీ యాక్ట్ కింద దాని స్పెసిఫిక్ సర్టిఫికేట్ తెచ్చుకుని, ఇది దీంట్లోంచి ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ చేసింది ఎవడో, దీన్ని నేను ట్యాంపర్ చేయలేదు, డిపార్ట్మెంట్ వాళ్ళు సర్టిఫికేట్ తెచ్చుకుంటేనే దానికి వ్యాలిడిటీ ఉంటుంది. సిస్టంలో ఏదో దొరికింది కదా అని దాన్ని తీసి నోటీస్లో పడేస్తే అది అస్సలు స్టాండ్ అవ్వదు. వాళ్ళు కనుక ఆ పని చేస్తే మనం హ్యాపీగా మనం ఉండొచ్చు అన్నమాట. ఓకే. ఎవిడెన్షియరీ డస్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ ఎవిడెన్షియరీ వాల్యూ. ఇట్ హ్యాస్ అన్ ఎవిడెన్షియరీ వాల్యూ ఓన్లీ వెన్ under Information Technology Act, the digital imprints, be it in Tally, Excel, Word, or any other email, any other form, it is certified. When extracted from the hard disk, it is certified by an information technology certified person. Okay. Until then, it carries no value. అది పట్టుకెళ్ళిపోతాను, కంప్యూటర్ పట్టుకెళ్ళిపోండి సార్, దీంట్లో అన్ని ప్రింట్ తీసి మీకు నోటీస్లో ₹1 కట్టమని ఇచ్చేస్తాం, హ్యాపీగా ఇచ్చేయండి. రైట్. సర్టిఫికేట్ లేదని మనకి తెలుసు, సర్టిఫికేట్ ఉంటే అప్పుడు మనం కేర్ఫుల్గా ఉంటాం. ఓకే. సో నా ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్కి వస్తాను, ఏది సీజ్ చేయొచ్చు? దీనికి మనం హ్యాండ్బుక్, ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఆఫ్ చార్టర్డ్ అకౌంటెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఇన్స్పెక్షన్ సెర్చ్ అండ్ సీజర్ హ్యాండ్బుక్ చదవడం, దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే. సో వాట్ కెన్ బి సీజ్డ్? దాంట్లో ఐ విల్ జస్ట్ రీడ్ దిస్. వేర్ హ్యాస్ రీజన్స్ టు బిలీవ్, ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ రీజన్ టు బిలీవ్ ఉండాలి. హ్యాస్ ఎనీ గూడ్స్ liable to confiscation or any documents or books or things. So goods, documents, books, things. 4 can be seized. Cash can't be seized. Cash is not a thing. Bold judgments unnai. Which in his opinion is relevant for the proceedings. Relevance should be established. Just because you want to seize, you have the power to seize. You want to seize everything, you should be able to establish the relevance. And that too, they are secreted in any place. Now, we have a huge mall here. The department people went there they took INS 01 only, not even INS 02. Okay, that technicality apart, went there. They said the owner is not present. Their ego was hurt. Practically what happened, I'm telling. Not all officers may be like that. So they said we are going to seize this. Why? The accountant asked why. because your owner is not there. Nobody is responding. What is this? We have come, so many people, 20 people have come. You people are not responding. They called me. So I said, it is the owner's marriage day. He has gone somewhere. So we informed him, he'll be there in half an hour, 45 minutes. Still, they were not happy. They said, we are going to seize everything. Then, very important statement which I am telling you. Then I told them, everything you open and keep it open. All documents and records that are there in an almirah, put them on the table, visible to the video camera, CC camera. Put everything on the table. Sir, is that okay? Yeah, that is okay. Sir, they'll seize all those. Let them seize all those. Because they're not secreted by me. Now you have to establish that for you to seize, I should have secreted it. Now I'm putting everything on table. Now I'm not secreting it. So what are you going to seize? It is there, inspect it now. What is required for seizure? Okay. So the essential elements of 67.2 are, one is reason to believe, second is document thing, records, books, etc. The next one is they should have secreted. If that is not there, no seizure. And another one is INS 02 should be there. Proper authorization should be there. Reasons to believe should be mentioned. And see that it carries a DIN number. See that it is properly signed. Many times INS 02 is not signed. It is just sent and there is one text. They don't give it to us. Okay, all those are technicalities. I am just sharing these technicalities. Maybe you want to use these, maybe you don't want to use these according to your choice. Maybe you want to strike some balance between the department and the taxpayer. That can be your style of practice. But still, we should be having knowledge on this. Because later on, when they went about to seize those documents, yeah, Hitesh, Vemalana, they seized certain documents. Okay. For example, they seized this book. Okay. Now, they raised a demand on something which they found that is not there in the seized material. Now, is it consequent? Is the demand is such a demand which is not dependent on the seized material relevant for the proceedings on? Is it correct under section 67.2? That becomes a question to answer. Right?
Correct.
So it should be out of the seized material. If it does not have any relevance, then what is the fun in doing section 67.2 and thereby invoking 74? There is no point in doing that, right?
Now, in the similar case, if we add up, say already the assessee is audited under 65. Okay, and through 67, if they come again and they don't get anything, then they'll try to find out these things.
Correct.
And give a show cause notice for the issue which is not covered in the inspection.
Correct.
Then there are parallel proceedings, 62B will come into picture.
Correct. Correct.
Like that, at least in adjudication stages, it will be more helpful in my view.
Correct. It will be helpful more in appellate stages. In adjudication stages,
possibly.
yeah, correct. In adjudication stages, usually it so happens that we don't want to rub on the wrong side with the department and irritate them. Most of us, we want to go soft on the department.
Correct.
So I'll tell you one of my senior colleague, once he mentioned, there was I was very strong. My drafting runs into lots of pages. So very strongly drafted reply I sent to him for vetting. Okay, that was a huge case. That was a 12 crore tax case, 15 crore tax case. So I sent it to him for vetting. He changed the entire face of it. He changed it like this. My face is in the front, but he turned it to the back. And he softly told me, point of fact you put in the beginning. Point of law you put in the end. Don't irritate them with point of law in the beginning. You don't have jurisdiction. Notice is not correct. There is no natural justice. You should have done like this. You are not a proper officer. You don't have authorization. You don't have a DIN number. It is not served properly through email. It was not served by hard copy. Many courts said all this, your intellectual knowledge and all don't show in the beginning of the drafting. Don't show your intelligence. He advised me, you put it in the end very gently, softly. If the officer is a good person, it is okay. Or else these grounds which you are raising in the end, these legal aspects can come to your rescue at the appellate stage. So Hitesh, that is what is the point that I'm sharing.
Correct.
Okay. So somebody was pinging on the
So
computer.
let us initiate Q&A.
Yeah.
So members, I request you to put your issues. Either you can unmute yourself and you can come
Unmute is
forward,
better. Hitesh,
because
I see.
typing and all may take time.
Correct.
Please unmute yourself and or raise hand and unmute yourself. That will be also fine. And let us get some resolutions of the issues which we are regularly facing. Possible resolutions. Vemula sir, let us start with you.
Sir, Samamurthy sir is here. Is very active in assessment audits.
Yes, sir, he is there, sir.
Venkatram sir
I don't think Venkatram sir is there.
is there. Is there? Venkatram sir is there in the car
So
smiling.
I have one question, sir.
Okay.
I can't miss Rahul's presentation, so I'm here.
Sir,
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
who is it, sir? I am so sorry.
Venkatram. Venkatram.
Oh, Venkatram. You are there silently, very dangerously, you are present without telling me.
It was wonderful, really.
Sir,
హైదరాబాద్ వచ్చి పెట్టినట్టుంది సార్.
Rahul, how you said that dangerously present?
No, he silently is, behind the door is hiding. He did not make himself visible till now. That's a dangerous presence, huh?
Venkatram sir.
No, I'm being portrayed notorious guy. Yeah?
Sir, we all are, in fact. We all are. All this discussion is so that we empower ourselves more notorious, to become more notorious.
Hitesh,
Yeah.
you can shoot some questions, no, in the meantime.
yes, sir. I think there are some 2-3 comments which were there. One was about corporations. Like state corporations. Somebody has asked a question, actually, it has gone into the chat. Whether corporations which are there under the state governments they be treated as a government contract?
Yes,
That is
correct.
one.
They're treated as government contracts.
Then next one is the contracts by TTD, Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. What is this contract?
TTD, that is not a government contract. That is monitored by endowment, but it is a separate.
So then rate of tax
It's
will
a
come
trust.
under the regular category, 12 or
Correct.
18 for
Correct,
the
correct.
time being. Now it is all 18.
It's a trust. Correct.
So it will be regular. But when it comes to government contracts, then there were some amendments in the rate schedule regarding government entity, government authority. It were not there. Then those were added. Then again they were removed.
Correct. I also told you that I'll share a draft along with the 7 notifications that are relevant for it.
Yeah. So somebody has asked a question: is audit under 65 is full and final in all aspects? Any notices subsequently for the same topic which was well covered in audit can be quashed?
So this cannot be generally answered because this depends on the facts of the case. They may say, for example, we will just take 2B versus 3B. If 2B versus 3B was examined, the point of re-examination would not arise. If the point of re-examination arose, it means that it did that to that extent of 2B versus 3B, 1 lakh was identified, they paid it off. Okay.
Correct.
10 more thousand got missed. So to that extent, department can always argue saying that the 10,000 was not examined. 2B versus 3B was examined, but this was not examined. So, so it's always safe to go on facts rather than on such legalities, because such legalities can irritate the department, and section 67 is always there hanging on our head.
Right. And actually this is coming because of this audit versus ASMT 10. Where department don't have any breakup of the information which they get, they directly take from them DGram portal and they just send it through the notice in ASMT 10.
Correct. So it's always better, sir. The ad hoc answer to all this is, common answer to all this is, Please bank on facts. Don't bank on law. Bank on law only at the appellate stage.
Correct. Because
However,
again,
during the assessment stage, reserve your right to bank on law, saying that notwithstanding you don't have jurisdiction, you don't have this, that, and all, notwithstanding all those, notwithstanding our right, to make these points later on at some point of time, or to raise these issues at a later point of time. We are not conceding on the above, but not admitting, not conceding on the above, still we are responding to you is something like that you should be able to do. And to that corporation thing, you should be able to examine 243W of the Constitution, in which are government entities, which are not, is mentioned in 243W of the Constitution.
right. I think even in that 243W, if you see the proviso to that, there is a special mention about industrial local authorities.
Correct.
Now
Good,
there is a,
good
it's a
point.
very big dispute if somebody goes into industrial local authorities itself, which are not at par with say GHMC or regular municipalities.
Correct.
And I think department has not gone into these things, but there is a case law, I think it is in income tax, which relates to Noida. The Noida itself was an authority. Supreme Court has held that it is not equal to a regular municipality.
Correct.
It doesn't have same powers as such, but okay, the schedules to the Constitution supports the activity.
Correct.
And in the law also, we look at the activity for exemptions.
Correct.
So that differentiation is there in 243W also.
Correct.
Sir, I have one small query, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where there is a certificate from this certificating authority stating that the seized data was not tampered with, but factually the SSC finds that there is some tampering. What is the remedy?
Sir, are you talking about the physical documents or the virtual, that is the digital document?
Virtual data which is there in the system, computer.
Virtual data, it should be certified, sir. If it is not immediately certified, it is usually sealed. The seal is opened only in the presence of the certifying authority. If it is not sealed and seized, then gone. They don't have a case on it. I'm telling you. It should be sealed and opened. Even if the mobile phone is seized, then it should be covered, it should be sealed, and the sealed is open, and the IT fellow is going to say, I broke open the seal and I'm going through it.
But
one more thing, sir.
If you find that there is some kind of discrepancy, what is the remedy?
The remedy is only contesting their claim that it was the factual ground, the fact is this, and the legal ground, on the legal ground, this was not sealed, so it cannot stand the test of law.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir.
One more
Of course,
thing,
at the assessment stage, they will not admit, sir. Usually, they will not be, nobody will be humble enough to admit. If he is a really good officer, he may admit कि यार ठीक है, हमारी तरफ से ना गलती हो गई है. But usually, they will not admit. They will defend it more and more. And at the appellate stage or the WP stage, it can help us.
What is the step which the SSC can take to establish that there is some kind of discrepancy?
So what about retention of the documents seized?
Retention of the documents, I think it is 90 days, after which they will have to seek permission once again.
Right. Now what is happening is practically say anti-evasion or DGGI, after that they issue show cause notice with RUDs.
Sir, if it is anti-evasion, central authority, I am telling you, they will take permission again. State authorities, yeah, they should get used to these procedures.
Yeah. No, even after adjudication also, sometimes they are not giving back the documents.
Correct.
Because see, there is relevance to the documents in two angles. One is whether it is a relied upon document or not.
Correct.
Secondly, like if say it is a fake ITC case, for example.
Correct.
Now there are some documents which are part and parcel of the invoices. And it has not been taken in the summons also.
Correct.
And the statement recorded during the summons.
Okay.
So when we are going to them and we are asking them to at least release them or give a copy, there is limited cooperation on that part. But actually they can give copies at our cost.
Correct.
So about this also, I think there is limited awareness among the professionals also.
So usually, people initially would want to strike a balance, and that for which reason all these legal grounds are not contested. because mostly we don't handle corporates, at least in our Mofsal place like Rajamandri, wherein the client needs to take a stand. He needs to be by us and with us and say, sir, आप कुछ भी करो हम आपके साथ हैं. But usually that does not happen. When we
Right.
tell them, चलो लड़ेंगे, then there are chances that tomorrow morning he may have coffee with the officer.
Right. So any other questions from members? Please come forward. We don't have much time now. Actually, it is already 6 o'clock.
I think there is nothing else. If there is anything else, you can please text me. I am texting my number, my WhatsApp number in the text box with the permission of the chair.
Yeah, please, sir. No problem.
So you can text me over the WhatsApp. Anything that I know, I'll respond immediately. I sent a message in the chat box.
I think one question will take from Ramdev, sir.
Yeah, Ramdev sir, please.
Thank you, Vemula. Actually, GST is not my cup of tea. When you are dealing with this service search provisions inspection, I was thinking of what are the provisions in the Income Tax Act? Because they directly affect the privacy of the person.
Correct.
It is normally. So as far as Income Tax Act is concerned, I don't know why they won't allow taking copies or extracts of the seized material. It is called seized material.
Correct.
There are different types of seizures. First is called seized material of record documents in the digital form or otherwise. Other one is seizure of the valuable article or thing in income tax, from income tax perspective. So I think in GST also same concept may prevail. Whenever any issue relating to fundamental rights crops up in any proceedings, whether be it GST, income tax or something else, you can always go to the court and this is the only recourse available. Because without availability of the documents which are going to be used against you, how can you defend yourself? That is the fundamental thing. So otherwise also I think Vemula, your friend Rahul has done really superb justice to the subject in detail. He has explained, and I will congratulate him orally, though we are at distance, so I can't congratulate in person, but virtually I will congratulate you, and I expect that expert on GST in our tax bar is the immediate past president, as far as we know, Hitesh.
Yes.
And he has authored some books for institute also. So he will add to it. And Rahul, you can plan any topic on GST, different topic, which is of more practical, like this one, for another session, sometime after 2, 3, 4 months, whenever you are free. And particularly regarding this revision, I am very particular because they are allowing input based on 2B only, 2A, 2B. They are not relying on the evidences held by the taxpayer. So that is the biggest anomaly. One thing, another power of revision must be given as it was earlier prevailing in VAT. So that whatever majority of the disputes which are there, I think nearly about 50% will vanish if that revisionary power is available with the assessor. With this, my view. Again, I thank Rahul. What is your take on this? My views, if anything is there, add to it. I will be very grateful to you.
Nice of you, sir. Thank you for the nice words.
Sir, we have with us Ayadevara Srinivas also. Sir, can you just unmute, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Shekhar.
Sir, please.
I'm planning to learn GST, and this was an eye-opener for me. Thank you, Mr. Rahul, for that. I'm absolutely novice at GST, except for the fundamentals. I don't do much of GST, but I thought that being a subject which is almost nearer to income tax, such a search, Caesar, and thing, I thought I should attend to see if there is any commonality between the both acts, and I think there are a lot of commonalities in it. Acts, and as Buttada has said that the constitutional aspects of this also have to be examined in terms of seizure of phones and laptops. There's a recent judgment in reference to some other act which says that phones cannot be seized. So I just like to I put that to Mr. Shekhar so that he can circulate it in the future. Thank you, Mr. Rao.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. It's a great privilege that you are here for this online program, that too particularly GST, sir. It's a great privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shekhar, for your kind words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, sir, Samamurthy, sir, would you like put some, I think last question, another 2-3 minutes will wind up, sir.
Yes, I'm also a layman in GST. That's why I was just hearing, just for knowledge purpose. And I got to know many points. So his questions and extracting answers from the participants. And it's a way we learn many things. And today it's an eye-opener for many people, including me, that how much I don't know in GST. People who are practicing also don't know, and people who are not practicing also don't know anything. So today is a very good. It's only a beginning, and many more sessions will enlighten us many more things, because it's only through practice we learn things. Thank you.
Thank you. Hiteshi, can we go for closing?
I think we can close, sir. If anything is there, members can contact even TAPTBA and Rahul sir directly. So let us conclude, sir. I think I'll hand over back to Secretary sir now. Thank you.
Yes, sir. As we bring today insightful webinar to close, it's truly my pleasure to extend a heartful note of thanks to everyone involved.
Vijay, Ajay, still
Yeah.
vote of thanks for రాలేదు. Still
Special
attend.
చెప్పారు కదా అందుకే అని.
Yeah. Rahul, thank you very much for your time. Friends, Rahul is a national trainer in JCI. Rahul, the way you handle the session, question answer throughout the session, there is interaction. You made the session interactive. You have put a question and you answered, and people really loved it. Many seniors are here. I think that is the reputation of Rahul. I'm sure, as Ramdevji was mentioning, we need to plan more and more programs like this. Maybe a physical program, physical workshop with you, and maybe our some of the seniors from Hyderabad we will try to plan in coming months. I'll try to take your time. Rahul, since this is a virtual program, I would like to say thank you. Please accept this. You are going to receive this memento to your address. Already memento is ordered.
So nice of you. Nice of you. Thank you. Thank you.
And friends, so this is what first speaker program, and we are having next speaker program on 26th. I would like to show you the flyer. So this is what on 26th we'll be having the program on spirituality at work. The venue is at Hotel Taj Mahal, Audits. Still the flyer is in the final process, so we need to add certain information and will be shared in the groups. So block your time on 26th Saturday morning 8:30. It's a physical program where Vinayji is from Wisdom Foundation is going to address the session. So again, it is related to professionals. Don't think that it is something which is not related to us. It is related to us only. So please use this opportunity and present in good number, because we'll be having arrangements for more than 150 members. So thank you once again, all the participants. I'm sure we will plan more and more such good programs, virtual as well as physical. So thank you very much, and over to Ajay for formal vote of thanks.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. As we bring today's insightful webinar to a close, it's truly my pleasure to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to everyone involved. Firstly, and most importantly, a thank you to to our today's speaker, Mr. C.A. Rahul Vedantam from Rajahmundry, for such a wonderful presentation. And also all the participants who have spared their valuable time and to gain a knowledge